O song celestial. Hello, Bhagavad Gita. Let me see what comes out of me when I read thee. Yeah, I am looking forward to having this finished. Ah, wow, there is the last one. Not... Oh, yeah, it's 80? Okay, we still have until 57. But 57 is half a page. And now we're at 40. 17 pages more of this. So I'm gonna keep doing it like this. I'm gonna pick out the stuff that he says and then tear it to shreds. And tell you what I think of it. I actually believe it's going very well until now. Where I can just show you the folly of, you could say pedestaling anyone, which then would say putting anyone on a pedestal. I mean, you'd have to be really sure that this guy is not going to abuse his power. Because if you truly want to follow someone, then you have to follow that guy till the rest of your days. But it's better to follow yourself. That's why I like my teachings to be tough, so that the only people who would listen to me are the ones who can stand it and who want to figure themselves out and not myself. And that's how this whole Hollywood thing works. These actors are like, let's say, yeah, it's just an escape. So people read about actors or watch actors on screens so they can identify with these characters instead of identifying with, let's say, their own mess. It's not identifying with their own mess, but yeah, you just have to look at your own mess and then figure it out. Until now, he hasn't really that much said anything about what you can do. He just says, yeah, you just have to love me all the time. And then, I'll love you back. Yeah, that's very conditional. Which is then what I meant when I said, if you've got nothing to give, what do you want then? You either have something to give, and then it's unconditional, or you have nothing to give. But it's also, sometimes you have given people unconditionally, but you also realize, well, it is kind of imbalanced. I mean, I have a lot to give, but if I give to you, I see that you do weird stuff with this. So I can come to you, make you happy, lift your mood, and then you go and, let's say, beat people on the streets to a pulp or rob a bank. Well, then I will probably stop giving you. That's what I'm saying. So you gotta see the consequences. And Nas, I can only repeat this, Nas has sung it in one song of his, I Gave You Power. I mean, apparently he was able to give people power, but they funneled it all into violence. And he saw it, but he continued. Well, in the end, he kind of shrank back, right? I mean, he probably focused more on his own success than sitting around shaking hands all the time. Okay, chapter 13. Arjuna speaketh, now what I hear is like, yeah, don't look for this stuff out of yourself. You have to find, you don't sit around, you ask someone, please tell me what I want to know. No, you have to look for this yourself. This is also personal stuff. I can tell you things that are completely irrelevant to you, but are relevant to me. So it's better to look for truth in yourself, and then it's gonna help you to progress. O gracious Kesava of life which seems and soul beyond, which sees and what it is we know or think to know. Oh my god, I cannot do this. I'm just afraid I'm just gonna really explode. Krishna speaketh, ye son of Kunti, for this flesh ye see is Kshetra, is the field where life disports. And that which views and knows it is the soul, Kshetrina. Wait, how long is this chapter? Oh, it's too long anyway. Give it 10 lines, it's too long. You know, one sentence in this book is already too long. You have to completely, you know, it could be twice as long, but then with 50% more shadow stuff. Or more light, because it's basically only shadow, it's just sucking you dry, it gives you nothing. And that's what I'm saying, it's just nonsense. Nothing really experienced is in there, it's just imagining stuff. He probably read a lot of stories and then cooked this up. Just imagining things. How about you go hiking barefoot? Yeah, I can just say this to the rest of my days, because this is my trump card. You know, you think you're tough? Oh yeah? How long can you hike barefoot for? This is my trump card. You know, everybody needs a good trump card. This is my trump card. No, well, I cannot. Well, then you're not tough, man. Well, but I have done other things, yeah. Okay. What have you done, you know? I sat and read 10 books in one night. That doesn't sound like you're really appreciating what you're reading. You're just like swallowing it up. Ye son of Kunti. Okay, plus you shouldn't look for what you want in books. You should look for it in life. Flesh you see is shit. Okay. Life disports. And that which views and knows it is the soul. Kshetrina. In all fields, thou Indian prince, I am Kshetrina. Okay, I'm not gonna read this. I'm just gonna scan through it myself. Wow, this is much better. Silence. Great. I think I'm gonna enjoy the treasure island much more. Well, let's see. Maybe it's gonna make me just as angry. It's just really not worth spending time with this. Other than, you know, sometimes you just have to pick something up just to put it aside. So I advise you, it's better to read A Wizard of Earthsea or Papillon, or even, yeah, Lord of the Rings. Anything is better than this stuff. Because it's just fancy words all the way. And that's just coming from a guy who has done a lot in terms of just pushing himself to experience what life is about. I mean, if you have done what I did for so many years, what can you really teach me about faith or trust? I mean, I've trusted for so many years, and it seems to be working, but it still makes no sense, and I always feel still under the threat of it all being taken away, which means, yeah, I have to continue. Because what stands still dies. You see, it's still all the same. The light of lights, he is in the heart of the dark shining eternally. In the heart of the dark shining eternally. Yeah, I like that. But nothing is shining eternally. And if you are the light of lights and in the heart of the dark shining eternally, okay, but can you also be the darkness hiding in the light? You know? Can you also be the shadow in the corner? For nothing is always all light. There's always a shadow. As soon as there is light, there's a shadow. So you may say, as soon as there is shadow or darkness, there's also light. And like I said, it's like the twilight idea. It's supposed to be the in-between, right? In darkness, there still are shades of darkness. So darkness isn't just darkness. So it's all transitions. So have I told of life's stuff, and the molding and the lore to comprehend, whoso adoring me, yeah, okay, me. Oh my god. Yeah, I think the last chapters I'm just gonna end quickly, just scan through them, see if they're it's just bullshit. It's just people who are afraid to die. This is not really Viking material. So I don't want to really overcome death. You know, I live so that one day I can die. So I make experiences that, in a sense, also, you know, push me further. So I face fear of death in a lot of things. And I have faced it before. So, in a sense, hoping that when the day comes where I will die, because that is the greatest challenge, that it's gonna be smooth. Right? That's what I want. I want to have a smooth death. So no, I don't want to be, you know, ripped to shreds by sharks or something. You know, I want to have a well-earned, relaxed death. And for that, energy must flow properly. And that will never happen by sitting around reading the Bhagavad Gita or any book. That will happen by holding your planks, by going into nature, hiking barefoot, that's what I truly believe, making sure that energy is flowing properly through your body. Because what cancer in the end is, basically just fear and negligence. You have neglected, your symptoms of deterioration. And then something started to fester. And then you go to a doctor and you say, "Can you help me?" He says, "Yeah, sure, we'll do some X-ray or we'll do some MRI." Well, how can putting you into a microwave make you better? It cannot. So you are uncertain, so you go to insane people and ask, "Please, can you help me?" They're gonna do insane things to you. I mean, maybe your time's just run out, but it's not chemotherapy that you need. It's not an MRI that you need. You just have to stop wasting your time. And some people maybe get cancer simply because, you know, they were ignoring their need to eat meat. Because transforming darkness takes a lot of stamina. It's not an easy thing. And you've been ignoring your darkness for far too long. So, yeah, too much light, it's gonna burn you out. Too much shadow, the same thing. So you need to be balanced. That's, yes, the only thing. And I am balanced. I'm not shouting, am I? But some things just trigger me because I can see that it's important that this is not around in 100 years anymore. This should be, you know, erased from memory. Or changed to something more according to true life. It's just the way I see it. Oh, yeah. Wait a second. Just this last one. O Prince, that ultimate, high spirit, uncreate, unqualified. What? Uncreate, unqualified? Even when it entered flesh, taketh no stain of acts, worketh in naught. Everybody's so afraid to get stained. I get stained a lot. That's why I go into nature. Right? So, are you so pure? You know, who's really so pure? I eat, I shit. That's a fact. Like to the eternal air, pervading all, which for sheer subtlety avoideth taint. You cannot avoid taint. You're gonna be tainted. But you can know how to clean yourself again. So, avoiding taint is not living, because then I wouldn't leave the house ever. Yeah, but I also stretch out these times, but it's better to just work. Right? The subtle soul is everywhere, unstained. I say to you, unstained is impossible because everything has a shadow, and that's a fact. Nobody is unstained. I cannot get rid of what I have done in my life. That will always stay. So nobody will ever only be light. And eating plants is not better than eating animals. It's just what is available, because plants are still living beings that need to be killed to eat them. Just have a different life cycle or whatever. So I rather look at a raven and I say, hey, I can pick that guy as an example because he's a true master. He's constantly in meditation. He knows how to survive winter without bickering. And he simply looks for food. And then he flies and he soars through the sky. This is someone I can identify with. A raven, or a panther, or a jaguar. They are hardened by nature and they do what they must to survive. They don't think about it. They just eat what they find and what, you know, helps them survive. So I'm eating this guy because everybody thought this was so great. Liked actually not eating it because this is not good stuff. Like to the light of the all-piercing sun, which is not changed by aught it shines upon. How does he know this? Like to the light of the all-piercing sun, which is not changed by aught it shines upon. How does he know this? How can you truly know this? Maybe the sun exists because it receives energy from everywhere. Who can tell, right? Maybe the sun is just... Yeah. It's not... I don't have to... You know, tear it all to shreds what he says, but I'm just saying. It's better to know that you can only truly know what your own experience has shown you. So I cannot really speak for the sun, but I can speak for myself. The soul's light shineth pure in every place. Yeah, okay. Since you cannot get stained, of course. Yeah, I mean, that makes depression something that clearly cannot exist. And if it does exist, he wouldn't tell you how to get out of it. You know, he'd be the guy, he'd just say, well, I don't know how to help you. You know, I can. You know, stop eating sugar, stop watching porn, stop watching movies, go into nature, hike barefoot. Cheers, man. And Krishna says, just worship me, you know. You just have to worship me all the time, you know. No. I don't know. But what I know is, it's better to just hold your planks and think of nothing, you know. Keep your spirit open, but don't sit around thinking about stuff all the time. Sure, it's good to think about stuff, but just know what you want to do and then do it. You don't really have to think about anything. You just have to be in your life, then look at what you have available. Oh wow, there's a crochet needle. Oh wow, there's some wool. Hey, I'll crochet. Because if you wouldn't know that something exists, you wouldn't want it. So sure, check out the internet, see what other people are doing, and then start doing it if you're interested in it. That's just how the world is at the moment. There's just so much, you have to distinguish yourself from the rest. And even in a tribe of maybe only 50 people, you would have to do this. But then there are different things they'd be doing. Today it's just so much. So you can just start juggling and then continue to juggle. But I'm telling you to start cooking. But even when it comes to cooking, you're gonna have your own way of cooking. And that's what I like about it. No matter what you start doing, it's always, you know, it should always lead to reveal your true self in the end. So at some point, after you have tested enough recipes, you simply stop. And then only cook from intuition. And that's when the really interesting thing happens. So I just made myself some kind of... That was actually a vegetarian burger. It was even vegan. Wow, it was even vegan. No, it wasn't. I used ghee to fry the patties. So I made a dough out of chickpea flour and corn flour and wild garlic and bicarbonate of soda and also white pepper, actually quite a bit of it. Yeah, not super much, but probably 1 teaspoon. Okay, that I already made yesterday because I made dough. I baked more than half of it. Put it into... baked it in the oven. So today I had the dough still left. And I fried it with ghee into patties. And then I took... I had... Okay, I'm not sure how it's called. But it's this juice from chickpeas. Canned chickpeas. I cooked at my parents' place and I used chickpeas there. And I saved the liquid because I knew I would make some kind of a mayonnaise with it. I put some garlic in it already when I stored it in a jar to take to my place. And then I made now this mayonnaise. I added maybe, double the amount of oil. The garlic was already in there. And then I just used the blender and blended it. I also added cumin seeds and some wild garlic I collected yesterday. Just in the beginning of the hike. I ate it on the hike and took it here. The rest I took here. Had it in the bag, plastic bag. Then added it to this mayonnaise. I also added a bit of turmeric. That's it. No salt. But vinegar. I added a bit of vinegar. It wasn't like true mayonnaise, but it was like a sauce. Delicious. It was delicious. Then I put it onto this patty. And then I have something like pickled onions with ginger that I made myself. It was also an experiment to just put it in a glass jar with a lid and see how it does. I wasn't too sure if it lasted, so I just stored it in the fridge and started eating it instead of keeping it until it really goes off. Okay, so I put some of these onions and the ginger on top of this mayonnaise stuff. Put avo on top and just ate it. And then I made another patty I had on the line. And I sliced it in half. And on the bottom half I put the rest of this sauce, the mayonnaise. And then I took a cabbage, just white cabbage, and I sliced it really fine, put it into a container with cumin seeds, vinegar, and simply oil, mixed it, put it onto the mayonnaise on the lower half of the patty, and then put on top of this avo. Exactly. The cabbage, avo, and then I ate it. It was delicious. It was basically a salt-free meal. I mean, not basically, it was a salt-free meal. I mean, extra salt-free meal. And it was good. Really good. So this would be a good book. Okay, like to the light, okay. The soul's light shineth pure in every place, and they who by such eye of wisdom see how matter and what deals with it divide, how the spirit and the flesh have strife. Yeah, okay. I was just curious because in the end he says, those wise ones go the way which leads to life. No, the way which leads to life is simply putting yourself out there. Which I am doing. Right? I mean, I sometimes see myself like I'm some kind of chickening out of life, but I mean, I am trying to draw attention to myself on a large scale on the internet. Well, if that doesn't, I mean, that's just life. And, you know, life is life. It's not going to change. Life will change, but life is always life. But how you fill the time at the moment, whatever, is then going to change. How was this one called? Chapter 13 ended entitled, okay, I'm not going to read this, The Book of Religion by Separation of Matter and Spirit. Yeah, something one should never do. Because that's what the state does, right? Just acting like spirit doesn't exist, you're just a lump of meat. You cannot separate matter and spirit, because it's one and the same thing. You can ignore the spirit and just act like you're just matter, but it's not the case. You see, this guy was just really ignorant. It's super sad that something like this is being worshipped. Like, people read this like the Bible. What for? Why are they reading this? It's so useless. Okay, I think I gave enough on that one. Let's see. I think the rest I'll do tomorrow. Sometimes I cannot stand my own venom. Because to me it is important that I'm Scorpion, right? I'm just dripping venom onto this. And that comes natural to me. It's also heavy in a way. Yeah, okay. I'll keep this for tomorrow. Maybe I'll feel more refreshed then, but I doubt it. Because until now, every time I started looking at this, I just started to feel sick immediately. Which is a clear sign there's something a bit off-putting. Of course, listening to this can make you feel sick. I don't know how this sounds like. All I do, I hear myself. Wow, okay, cheerio, man. Or woman.